Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I am here tonight live on Monday. We are here on August 14th, 2023 already. I can't believe it. And I'm going to be going over This Week in Astrology from August 14th all the way until August 20th. We have a lot to cover tonight, including a new moon. So this is going to be a good week. There's a lot of stuff going on astrologically speaking. And so I will just wait here for just a moment to see people joining me live here tonight on Facebook. I'm here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook Live on my astrology updates page. And then also I co-record for YouTube. So if you see me looking up and down on the camera, that is why I am also recording for YouTube. So welcome, welcome. And if you're just joining me, go ahead and post below your astrological sign. I haven't seen any comments yet. What is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, and where are you tuning in from? I love to hear what area of the world that is watching. I think it's so much fun, especially when people are coming from outside the US. I think it's pretty cool. So we have a lot going on in astrology this week, including, like I said, this new moon coming, and we have Venus is very active, and there's all sorts of different astrological things happening. Hello, Rita. Okay, Colorado, Virgo. It sounds like people can hear me. That's awesome. Darlene, thank you so much. She said, I look very pretty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Terry, welcome. Aquarius in New York. Welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. We got, it seems like we wasn't sure if people were able to hear me or not. I'm never sure when these lives start. I've been starting to restart my my devices before I record, and it seems like it's working better. I was having glitches before. So welcome, Andrea. Welcome, Aries. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Andrea, for what you went through over this weekend. And so I am going to be going over, like I said, this week. Now, I said this week, and technically, yes, we are going to be starting on Monday night, the 14th, but I'd like to just back up just for a second to yesterday on the 13th. The sun formed a conjunction with Venus. Yes, I went over this last week, but it is a big, huge deal every year when the sun forms a conjunction to Venus. And so it was a thing. It's all about love. And so for some people, this would have been very extremely positive, and other people, this might have been just a tiny bit, hard or difficult, because we're talking about love. And so if love is a hot spot right now, and it doesn't have to be love like romantic love. It can be somebody texted me and asked me, is this a love of a sibling? Yeah, it can be a love of a sibling, or any kind of love that you have. And so we are in Venus retrograde right now, and it's a good idea to remember that we're in Venus retrograde, because we are getting all the love lessons are coming from all the different places. Venus is retrograde in Leo, and so the sun and Venus retrograde did form a conjunction, and so this would have been all about love, self-love, and do we love another person, and is love flowing, or is love maybe need to be reviewed, or what are the boundaries, what are the rules of love, all that kind of good stuff. Amir, welcome. Taurus, yes. Sagittarius, Cancer, and Gemini as well. Welcome. Yes, all in letting go and a love of a dog. Exactly, Andrea. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. And so thank you, everybody who's joining me live. Go ahead and like the post and make sure that you share. I don't know if the algorithm's picking us up yet, so it takes a minute sometimes for Facebook to get rolling. And the reason why I'm talking so much about Venus is really, I feel like this week is kind of the tipping point, or like even maybe the middle of Venus retrograde. I mean, not even necessarily in time, but I just mean in like kind of what's going on with Venus this week. So even today, Venus continues. That's why I started talking about Venus, because Venus is continuing today on Monday. And again, this is Monday of August 14th, 2023. And Venus retrograde actually is forming a trine, which is positive with Chiron. See, so remember when I was saying Venus retrograde is all about reviewing something? Well, Chiron is something we need to heal. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is retrograde also in Aries. So we are, with Venus retrograde in Leo, now we're forming a trine. Now, technically, these two get along and it's very good. But whenever we have Chiron active, there is something that needs to be healed. And so anything that kind of comes up, whether it's literally, physically, we're talking about physical healing or emotional healing or spiritual healing, some kind of healing is taking place here with Chiron. And it is beneficial, because Chiron means that something can be healed, and that can be a very good thing. Hey, Debbie in Florida, welcome. Aries. Yes, we're talking about Aries right now. Chiron is in Aries. And so it's something that, they had a loss of a dog this weekend. We're talking in the chat that's going on. So Andrea and Sarah both had a loss of a beloved dog. So if you guys can give them lots of love and kisses and good vibes from the universe here. Almir said sorry for your loss. Yeah, it's tough. So not my dog, it was somebody in the chat. So we have this Venus retrograde and Chiron retrograde, and Chiron's going to be retrograde all the way until the day after Christmas on December 26th. And so we have a ways to go with Chiron retrograde. Chiron is one of those outer sort of deals where it's retrograde for almost half the year. So with both of these planets being retrograde, we're really reviewing something that needs to be healed in ourselves. And with love, it can be our shadow side. It can be something that, are we getting the love, and are we feeling the love, and like all the stuff about the love is kind of coming into play here. And so it's something that can be ouchy, that can feel ouchy, especially if you have something physical you need to heal. If you've been having an ailment lately or something that you're dealing with. Remember, Leo is the heart and spinal cord. Those are two big things, heart and spinal cord, and Aries is the head and the brain. So yikes, that's some big deal things happening. So those two are forming a positive alignment. Well, that's good. They're not fighting with each other, but they are still bringing up something. The good news is with Venus, it's like we're sprinkling some love into the situation, whether it's love of self-love, self-care, helping ourselves. That can help us, because Chiron and Aries is all about like stand up on your own 2 feet and deal with it yourself. Like that's kind of the way Chiron and Aries is. It's a little kind of harsh, like when you're looking for your tribe and who are the people, it's like, nope, you got to do this on your own. So that's a little hard. And Chiron, because Chiron has a weird orbit, Chiron is in Aries the longest. So I assume that's because us folks here on planet Earth maybe need to have the lesson of self-love longer. Maybe that's what the deal is. But that's the way Chiron rolls. So Chiron's going to be in Aries for so many more years. So Emily, yes, she said running behind, but you made it, yay, in New Jersey right now. Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio. Rosalind said self-love, exactly. So with Chiron and Aries, we have that going on, and that the peak of it, the height of it was today, Monday at 10:56 a.m. Eastern time. But remember, it's going to be active from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the peak of it, and then even Tuesday and Wednesday. But after today, it starts to sort of release. Now, tomorrow on Tuesday, August 15th, we have Juno, and you guys know that I talk about asteroids here on this channel, and Juno is who our ideal partner is, who our ideal marriage partner is, and that's represented by Juno in our astrological chart. So if you know where Juno is in your own astrological chart, you will know what sign is it in, and usually that sign describes your ideal partner, your ideal. Now, doesn't mean that you literally need to have that sign. Though I will say a lot of times people literally marry their Juno sign. So it depends on where Juno is in your chart. But it's somebody who is described by that sign. So let's say, I don't know, Juno's in Gemini or something. You want maybe somebody who's talkative, who's mercurial, who's curious, who likes to write and talk and email and all this stuff. That could be something that you're looking for. It doesn't mean the person has to be a Gemini. It means that the person has to have those types of traits that is archetypally associated with Gemini. So if that makes sense. So Juno, the transiting Juno, the Juno that's currently in the skies is actually leaving Cancer. It's been in Cancer for a while now, and it's moving into Leo tomorrow, the 15th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So 12:30 p.m. on Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Savings Time, West Coast. And so if you need a little extra, now here's the interesting thing: two lovers, Venus, which I just said is retrograde, and Juno are both now going to be in Leo at the same time. Juno's going to be in Leo all the way up until October 17th, where Venus is going to be in Leo, I believe. Let me just take a double check here. It's on October 8th. So we have both of these lovers in Leo. So this is extra Leo. So where is Leo in your personal chart? And then you will know how this will affect you. Remember that our natal Juno and our transiting Juno are two different perspectives. The natal Leo is the one you're born with natally in your birth chart, and the transiting Juno is the one that sort of is going on right now. And by the way, if you're looking, or if you're interested in love or finding your ideal marriage partner, then we basically have these two in Leo helping us. And it depends on where, what house, what sign is it in, and whatever. Juno's a fun one. She is associated with she, and she is the goddess of trying to find us an ideal spouse or forever partner type of thing. Hey Jackie, thank you so much. Oh, she sent me some stars, 150 stars. Thank you. First stars of the broadcast. I appreciate you so much, Jackie. If you want to send stars, that's a wonderful way of giving a tip or a financial help to this program. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I keep saying I'm going to get a bell. I have a bell actually I should use that's across from me. That's a beautiful space clearing bell that when people give stars, I can ring the bell. So we have this, what's going on with Leo in your chart? Right now, I want to show you very quickly. I printed this out just so you can see, because astrology is surprisingly visual. So this is the chart, the current chart of the planets right now, as of today. And this is where all of our Leo is. So you can see, don't look at the moon here because the moon is transient. Every 2 days it changes. But we have Juno. That's the one, that's the symbol you're looking for, by the way, on your chart. If you have your own chart, that's the symbol is Juno. It looks like an asterisk with a cross underneath of it. That's Juno. We have Venus retrograde. We do have the sun because it's Leo season. And then we have Lilith. And I'm going to be talking about Lilith on this broadcast. Lilith is the dark side of the moon. And so that's something that's going on. So Wendy, oh, hey, Wendy. Wendy said Leo is in your 12th house. So that's your spiritual lover. That's kind of like we're finding your spiritual soulmate there, I guess, in some way, metaphysically or spiritually speaking. So we do have a lot. We have a lot in Leo right now. We have some in Virgo too, and then just a little couple things here in Libra, but we have a lot in Leo. We're in the heart of Leo season, and that's basically what's going on. So that's a lot. I'd like to show the charts. And by the way, if you have your own chart, look, these are the houses. These pie slices are called houses 1 through 12, and that's basically what you're looking for. So when I say, oh, what house is it in? It's first house. Now, astrology is the language of symbols. So you need to know what the symbols are and all that kind of stuff, but it's pretty cool. I think, you know, it's easy to find. These are the signs, okay? Here's Leo, and then we have Cancer, we have Gemini, we have Taurus, we have Aries, you know, so you need to know the symbols and the signs. But that's when I ask you, hey, where is this and where is that? That's basically what the deal is. You can go on, there's Cafe Astrology, there's Astro.com, there's a bunch of different free ones that you can pull up your chart and look at it. Some of them might not have Juno, some of them might not have some of the minor things that I talk about sometimes, but they will most definitely have all the major planets. So that could be a fun project for you to do. You might say, well, I don't know what the heck that means, but some people do have their printout. Like I always give you a printout when I do a personalized reading with you or a session with you. I will give you a printout of that, and I kind of go over and explain those things. So some people like to follow along. But yeah, so that's what's going on right tomorrow. As we have now, remember, it's very similar. Juno in Leo is very similar to Venus in Leo, which is all about, remember, you know, the lion. Leo's proud, likes to dress up, likes to look good, likes to be out in public. You know, the performer likes to have attention, adoration, praise, feel special. That's all that Leo stuff. So we're getting hammered with these Leo lessons about ego and about, you know, if we are feeling seen and if we're feeling appreciated, and all that kind of stuff is going on with Leo right now. Now, tomorrow, the other thing that is going on is the sun is going to be forming a square with Uranus. Now, somebody asked me that was on this broadcast if anything was going on today with Uranus, but it's actually the next 2 days Uranus is going to be very active. So if you have any kind of nervous energy, palpitations, migraine headaches, you know, anything where it's nervous or tremors and things like that, we're looking at Uranus. And so there's 2 days in a row where Uranus is going to be very activated. That is going to be on tomorrow, Tuesday the 15th, and on Wednesday the 16th. And what's going to happen is on tomorrow night, the sun is forming a square with Uranus. The sun is in Leo, Uranus is in Taurus. And then we have Mars forming a trine with Uranus on Wednesday. So the sun and Mars are highlighting Uranus. Now, Uranus, again, is a lot of nervous energy. Uranus is a destabilizer. Uranus is tons of anxiety. But I also like Uranus because it's also nicknamed the Great Awakener. And that's where we can find, it's like, ding, like sudden inspiration, new ideas. Let's try something new, different, unique, unusual, outside the box. That's all Uranus's thing. If you're trying to stay the same, do it the old-fashioned way, yeah, that's not Uranus. That's Saturn. Okay. So Uranus is much more of a destabilizer. So when we talk about destabilization, that is definitely Uranus's, you know, sort of forte. Uranus just likes to shake things up, and sometimes we need a shake up, you know, to kind of get outside of the rut that we might be in, or the doldrums or something. But it can also be, and again, if you already lean this way, it can also be nervous energy too, and then that's not as fun. So the peak of it, I'm going to give you the exact times because that's when it's the strongest. When I give you the exact times, remember, that's like going to the top of the mountain. That's like the very top. And so Sun square Uranus is 10:35 p.m. Eastern time on tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be Mars trine Uranus. Mars is in Virgo, Uranus is in Taurus, and that's going to be 9:53 a.m. So you can see they're almost exactly at the same time aspecting it. And so, this can be a lot of like nervous energy. This could be sudden inspiration. I will say, since Mars is involved, we really want to, you know, be active. We want to maybe work out. We want to maybe exercise. We want to maybe do some, you know, something to get it out of our system. But we have to be careful, even though Mars is positive and it's a trine, you know, they're both earth signs, Mars and Virgo, and then Taurus, Uranus, but that can be accidents. So we want to be careful because this, you know, Uranus can be accidents, falls, something unexpected. So we want to be just, you know, taking it easy. And people might be very aggressive around that time too, because These two are the most impatient signs, I would say, like planets. The Uranus and Mars are the most impatient planets. So, we're going to be like, get out of my way, just make the turn, put your damn signal on, especially while we're driving. So we got to be careful of that, because that could be a little too much energy. And like I said, we do have a lot of, not a lot, but I would say like heavy, bigger energy, I guess that's a better word, bigger energy in Taurus right now. We have Jupiter in Taurus, we have Uranus in Taurus. This is the symbol for Uranus, okay? And these are in Taurus, and they are squaring Leo. Leo and Taurus are both earth signs. A square means that they're forming a 90-degree aspect with each other. It's 90 degrees. So that's basically a little bit of a, a thing right now. And the sun is in Leo and Uranus is in Taurus. So that can be a little, these two are kind of, we are supposed to be doing something different right now. That's what it is. We're supposed to be doing something different. We're supposed to be breaking the mold, getting outside of our box. And the kind of the cool thing about this, I guess, if you're looking for the bright side, the upside, the yay side, is that we're going to have the new moon going on at the same time, and the backdrop is this. So if you're looking for something new, remember Uranus is something new, wanting to try something new, wanting to try something different, wanting to be unique or special, or, getting outside that box, like I said, being unique for who you are, that could really play out well, because again, we're having the new moon. Okay, so this is the new moon on Wednesday, the 16th. The peak or the height of the new moon is at 5:38 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, that's 2:38. It's going to be overnight between Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, so if you're looking to write, people always ask me, when do I write my new moon manifestation list? You write it after the peak. So really anytime Wednesday after 5:38 a.m. Eastern time, you can write that new moon list, okay? And if you're looking to really start something new and different and unique, or at least, get it on your new moon list, this is good. Now, I say it's a good time to start. There are 7 planets retrograde. I think this month there are going to be 7 planets retrograde. So there's going to be a lot of retrogradeness. And I know that we definitely need to start something new before next Wednesday, the 23rd, because that is when Mercury starts going retrograde. So we are now T-minus 1 week of Mercury retrograde starting in Virgo. I've been warning everybody, like it's coming, and that's going to be in Virgo, and that's going to be on the 23rd, August 23rd. Hey, Ashley, welcome. Oh no, Rosemary. Oh no, you fell and broke your wrist. Oh, you were ahead of the schedule. I can see. I'm so sorry. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When we talk about these, that you were ahead of time, you really weren't, because we feel these things the most as we approach them versus versus when we leave them. We feel the energy the most as we're approaching these transits. So when we talk about these transits, remember, I always say it's like climbing Mount Everest. You climb to the top of the mountain. The peak are these days that I'm telling you, and then we come down. But as we are going up, this is when it's the strongest. So right now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's when we are really going to be feeling this. So definitely let's send Rosemary lots of love and light. And to which wrist is it, right or left wrist, Rosemary? And we can send you some, but yeah, so we might be a little more accident prone right now. So that's something we have to kind of keep in mind for sure. So sorry. I broke several bones, 2 years ago, and that was awful. So I totally relate to that. As we approach this, we want to be careful. Yes. And we want to remain calm. And also, we want to be open and flexible to new things, new ideas, sudden inspiration. If you have been feeling in a rut because of all these retrogrades, this is a great time to kind of think of doing something different, or think of doing something outside the box. And that will be, like I said, the coming to the peak and the height of it will be on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. But then we have the new moon. So we're going to talk about that, the new moon in Leo, but we can't talk about this without looking also at Uranus to and the sun and Mars, because it's all involved together. Now, this new moon is going to be in Leo because we are in Leo season. So everything's in Leo right now, right? That's going to be 23 degrees Leo. Okay. And that's going to be a micro new moon. Now, this month we have not one, but two super new moons. So super moon means basically that the moon is the closest. Okay. The super moon is the closest. Micro moon means that it's the furthest away. So it's going to seem like a teeny tiny little moon up there in the sky. But that doesn't matter. And we won't even see it anyway because it's dark. You know, new moon is dark. That's when the sun and the moon are both going to be in the sky at the same time. Okay. And it's, again, 23 degrees Leo. And so it is going to be the dark moon, the new moon. That's when it's darker outside, but it doesn't matter. By the way, we can still see remnants of the Perseids meteor shower too. So seeing meteor showers during a new moon is the best time to look out, okay? Because the sky is so dark, then you can see the shooting stars much more easily and clearly. And even though the Perseids meteor shower peaked over last weekend, we could still see a stray shooting star, okay, here or there. So that might be something to kind of keep an eye on. So remember, what are we doing during our new moon time? We want to write and manifest our new moon manifestation list. You want to write all the things that you want on the list. Leave the how they are coming to you off of the list. Just write down what you're looking for. Fold it under your pillow, sleep with it for 2 weeks, and then burn or destroy it during the next full moon. Now, the next full moon is going to be a super blue moon. I've been talking about this all month, and that's going to be on the 30th in Pisces, 7 degrees Pisces. So at that time, by then, we will have already started Virgo season. So that's the next full moon is going to be Virgo. And so that's something that is going to be a big, huge deal. It is the biggest super moon of 2023. So if you're really looking, to have some great moon photographs or something like that, it is going to be the closest to the earth on that day out of the whole year. Okay, so it's the superest of super moons. And again, that'll be a blue moon because it's the second full moon in 1 month. The next blue moon won't be until 2026. So this is kind of a special thing. Remember, every once in a blue moon, it doesn't happen that frequently. So 2023, this is the blue moon, and then the next one will be in 2026. So, but astrology wise, the blue moon thing doesn't really matter too much. It's just that we're having a lot of energy, and they are super moons, and that will matter. Supermoons really do affect us here on the planet because it raises up, the tides, and we feel that gravitational pull a little bit more. We are mostly made of, liquid. So we will feel that energy, and that does affect us humans here on the planet. So it's something that we want to keep in mind. But that's when we're going to burn or destroy that new moon manifestation list, is on that big full moon, and it's going to have a punch to it as we release the people ask me, why do we release it? Why do we burn it, the list? If I want these things, why am I burning it? Because it's like a symbolic way of letting go and letting the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you pray to, Krishna, letting the universe take care of it for you. Like we don't have to have we don't have to have our hands on every little aspect of things, right? We're not always in control of things. So it's letting it go is like letting the angels do the work for you. It's a symbolic thing, but I think it's very powerful because you're releasing it into the ethers. So make sure that you do write your new moon manifestation list again on Wednesday of this week. Anytime after 5:38 a.m. Eastern time, you can write that list. Even if it's 6 a.m. or whatever time, write the list after, okay? Not before. And so that is going to be on Wednesday. But like I said, behind the scenes, this particular new moon is going to have this Uranus activation. So we're thinking outside the box. We're doing something different. Mars is active, so people might be a little edgy or aggressive sometimes. People might even say, I thought this was a new moon. I thought it was supposed to be positive, you know, because Mars is going to be active. The sun's going to be involved with this new moon. Like I said, it already is, because the sun and the moon are conjunct each other. They're in the same sign. The sun's in Leo and the moon's in Leo. And then, you know, we have all that energy. And even behind the scenes, we have Venus on that day forming a sextile with Ceres. Remember, I've been talking about the moms, all the moms. So here we are, Venus retrograde behind the scenes, highlighting something with Ceres. Again, it's positive. It's a sextile. That's good. Ceres is in Libra and Venus is in Leo. So those two are positive together. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Ding, ding, ding. I got more stars. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And so the mom energy is going on behind the scenes too. And when I say mom, I mean all things like related, like nurturing and caretaking, all that is behind the scenes of this particular new moon. So there might be some need to nurture ourselves, maybe self-nurture. That is going on. This new moon is going to be, even though the moon itself is a micro moon and it doesn't seem like it's so potent, then we have all this planetary activity going on, so it might feel more potent than a micro moon. And again, we do have the moon here in Leo. You can even see, this is the chart of today. You can even see the moon in position here, coming into Leo and sort of getting into the mix here. So you can see how much energy is in Leo. That's a lot of energy in Leo right now. And you better believe it's powerful. And it depends on where Leo is in your astrological chart in order to know how it will affect you on a personal level, how you'll feel that on a personal level. But believe me, we're getting tested in that Leo department. Some of it's good, some of it's dark. Speaking of dark, oh, Rosalind, thank you so much. Not speaking of dark for her. Oh, thank you so much. She sent me more stars. I appreciate it. Ding, ding, ding. I appreciate that. That's awesome. But speaking of dark, right after this new moon, so on Thursday, August 17th, the sun is forming a conjunction with Lilith. I told you I was going to be talking about Lilith this week. 24 degrees Leo, and I just said the new moon's 24 degrees Leo and the sun's 24 degrees Leo. Now Lilith is 24 degrees Leo. Okay, that's on the 17th and the peak of it. So remember what I said before, we're feeling this as we approach it, right? So even though the peak is on Thursday, we're gonna have hints of Lilith during this new moon. And so 24 degrees Leo, Lilith is in Leo, the sun's in Leo. The peak of it is 7:18 p.m. That's the height of it, the peak of it, on the 17th, August 17th. Now you guys know Lilith is dark moon Lilith. Lilith is not actually a planet. Lilith is said to be the dark side of the moon. The side of the moon we can't see, and the moon is 100% dark right now. Because it's a new moon. Lilith is dark. She can have us feeling dark. We can have sort of yucky thoughts sometimes with Lilith. She's very similar to Pluto in a lot of ways. She's very similar to Pluto. So with having Lilith in the backdrop there, that could be a little weird. And even, I don't know, there's like a couple of other things on Thursday. I feel like Thursday is a little wonky. She just might have us feeling dark or down or blue or depressed or something, because she's not all happy, you know. I mean, that's kind of a thing, the way that Lilith is. Lilith can be very jealous too, resentful and jealous, and she's a wild, untamed beast, you know. That's the way Lilith's archetype was. In fact, some people paint her almost as if she was a demon. So yeah, it could be a dark, that's dark, you know. So fortunately, we have good new moon, and unfortunately, we have this Lilith thing behind the scenes, and Uranus going on behind the scenes too. Now, I don't think Uranus is all bad. Astrologers as a whole often classify Uranus as a malefic, meaning that it's not positive. But just so you know, for the record, I don't feel that way about Uranus. Uranus is tricky. In fact, I have seen Uranus pull a rabbit out of a hat. Like your Uranus transits sometimes can be like great inventions and wonderful like new ideas and cutting edge technology. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily negative. In fact, during a really huge Uranus transit in my personal chart, I ended up leaving a career that I was working at for many years, and I went and got my life coaching certification, and I finally had the bravery to do what I'm doing now full time, because I, was sort of always told that, not by any, more of like culturally, like in school, it's like, if you look at, back in my old day, they had the, chalkboard. It was like, okay, pick from this profession. It said teacher and doctor and lawyer and firefighter, and like astrologer wasn't on that list, but yet, I had the bravery to go into this and lean in. I left like a corporate type of thing, situation and a professional licensure, and I left that behind to do what I'm doing now. And that, I really feel that if it wasn't for Uranus helping me, I wouldn't have done that. So I don't think Uranus is entirely bad. It's just like, do something different and unique and quirky and weird, and hey, it's going to work out. And I guess being an astrologer, a full-time astrologer, is kind of quirky and weird and unique and different. But that's what I ended up doing. So it's something that I don't feel Uranus is always negative. I just think it's like, lean into the weird and you can do it, It's like, lean into risk too. Uranus is beneficial for risk. Like a lot of times, like, don't take a risk, but with Uranus transits, if you want to roll the dice and take a risk, actually, a lot of times Uranus transits, that thing will work out. Okay. Just like I said, be careful on slippery stairs or any kind of thing like that, because that can be, Uranus is the wild card. So you just never know. I mean, it's always like a tricky thing, but I think if we can lean into Uranus's gifts, it could be quite beneficial. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and that's really the life lesson of Aquarius, is to do something that's a little bit different or unique or special or interesting in some way. Aquariuses are usually pretty interesting people. Rosalind said, thank you, Uranus. Oh, you're welcome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your stars and your gifts. Now we're back to having some interesting energy over the weekend. Friday is kind of low key. Even Saturday is sort of low key. But when we get into Sunday, we have some interesting stuff going on. There's a big interplay on Sunday between Ceres opposing Chiron. Now, I said Chiron is in Aries and Ceres is in Libra, and they're opposite of each other right now. That's going to be on Sunday the 20th. And so that's, Ceres is the great mother. Remember, she's nurturing, caretaking, and Chiron is something we need to heal. So that these two coming together, we have to really look at either self-healing or healing of a loved one or somebody that we care about, some kind of interplay between them. It is their yearly opposition. So again, that doesn't happen very often. So that peak height of it, I like to tell you the times, is going to be on Sunday morning at 7:45 a.m. Eastern time. But again, we'll feel that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday's the peak or the head of it. This is considered to be minor when we have an asteroid kind of, opposing a planetoid, a small planet. That's considered to be minor, but I talk about these minor ones because sometimes they end up being not so minor and more major. So when we're talking about a mother figure, a maternal person in our life, but also something in ourselves that needs nurturing and caretaking, this is a little bit like, what do? Do I go in too much? Am I going in not enough? Am I doing enough for somebody, or am I doing too much for somebody? Is somebody helping me, or am I feeling abandoned and lonely? This is kind of some of that type of stuff going on, and that's going to be like over the weekend. So if you have those feelings, that's why it's going to be coming to the surface. And a lot of times with Chiron and Ceres, I feel like both of those can be too much, like too like helicopter mom, or too like, because Ceres just wants to like do everything for you, and it's like, so like it's smothery. Smothery. I'm not sure, like making up words here, but it's like, I kind of feel like we're going to be looking at, are we doing too much or not enough? That's going to be like sort of that question on Sunday. But there is another light at the end of the tunnel. So we have a lot of it's a mixed energy this week. There's some challenge, and then there's some other like rising star kind of situations. The sun is going to form a trine with the north node of the moon on Sunday. I just got done saying with this new moon, well, really it's going to be on overnight between Sunday and Monday. It's 12:54 a.m. So it'll be Sunday for West Coast. It'll be Monday for East Coast, but it doesn't matter. Sunday into Monday. Here we are going to be looking at manifesting our dreams, our goals, our aspirations. Where are we headed? North node, where are we headed? And I think that's very, very important. And so again, if you're looking to manifest something, because we have this big manifestation opening here for this new moon, this is where it's at. You know, we have like, we could be taking a big step towards our goals, our dreams, our destiny. Remember, the north node of the moon is in Aries, and all this energy with Leo is aligning with this Aries energy. Aries and Leos are besties in real life. I mean, they are besties, both fire signs. So like, where we need to get fired up, like, you know, and so if you have a lot of fire in your chart, if you're an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you will be feeling a lot of this energy. Or if you're one of the air signs, if you're, certainly Libra is going to feel this too, or even Gemini or Aquarius, like we're getting fired up here. And what do we need to get fired up about? And so, yeah, I think that that's pretty cool. The sun forming a trine with the north node is a big deal. Anytime, you know, that gets lit up, the north node, it's like we're looking at our destiny or what we're meant to do here in our lifetime. And I mean, it's a big deal. That is a really big thing. So that's the situation right now. There is, you know, just a few, I would say, interesting things with Aries here. You know, we have Chiron in Aries I was talking about. We even have the north node of the moon in Aries, which I was talking about. But the whole reason why I printed this, because I just thought it was so weird and interesting. I told you Leo and Aries kind of are firing each other up right now. I'm sorry, I'm going to adjust my camera here just for a second. One of the things that is going on right now is we have a new COVID variant called Aries, and everybody's talking about Aries right now. And Aries is an astronomical thing. Aries is a planetoid, and I'm going to put my calendar down because it keeps slipping. Aries is a planetoid here. I just circled it in Aries. And it's 23 degrees. Well, what did I just say? All these planets in Leo, 24 degrees, right? Lilith right now is 24 degrees, firing up Aries. The sun is firing up Aries. So I just think it's so weird that literally they just named this COVID variant Aries, like nicknamed it, and it's rising up right now. And the sun and Lilith are both powering up Aries, the planetoid, in astrology. So I think that that's not ironic at all. Like, I think it's like, this is actually kind of how this stuff works. But I think it is really weird, like in a cool way, that this is all kind of happening at the same time, that it is like kind of being born under this kind of stuff. So we'll have to see. Aries is in Aries right now. And like I said, that Leo is firing it up. So they are aligning with each other, and they're sort of just, you know, not in a good way. We don't want something like that to rise up. But I do think it's interesting. That was the reason why I printed this tonight, to show you guys like how astrology and the world works, you know. Yeah, so I hope that helps everybody. So we have a lot going on, and if anybody wants to ask a question, or here, you just print something down below if you guys have a question for me. But just a very quick recap, we do have a lot of Venus activity. Sunday we had Sun conjunct Venus. Monday we have Venus trine Chiron. On Wednesday we have Venus sextile Ceres. So we have 3 big Venus things this week. We also have Juno, who's our ideal lover, going into Leo on Tuesday. We have the new moon in Leo going on. Oh my goodness, we have all this Uranus activity going on behind the scenes on Tuesday and Wednesday. We do have Lilith on Thursday, fired up. But then we also have this very interesting, combination of this mothering, nurturing, Chiron healing energy on Sunday. But also we need to align and remember, where's our North Star? Where are we meant to go? What's our destiny with the North Node of the moon on Sunday? Sunday and Monday of next week, because we can't get lost with all that. I mean, we could get lost, but we shouldn't. It's not a good idea. So yeah, so I hope that helps. Oh no. Katrina said, would you please pull a card for your son? Yeah, you're feeling your mama energy. She said, I'm feeling Ceres energy a lot. Yes. So let me pull a card for your son. What do we need to know about Katrina's son who's feeling exhausted by work? I think we're all feeling exhausted because all these retrogrades are going on. Interesting. I can tell that it's so interesting because I can tell just by these cards that are coming out, he is not, he feels like he is not doing the thing he's meant to be doing. It's like, I feel like, it's not just, it feels like it's a work, it's a job, but he's not doing the thing. He's very confused right now. Okay, this is just the sun for Katrina's, that's Neptune. Neptune's confusion. And it's like he wants to make the world a better place and also possibly play some music while he's doing it, or play some kind of something, like do something that's a lot more fun than this, like he's very like sort of lost right now. I actually feel like he's just, I know it's easier said than done, and right now I get it, in the economy and whatever. I just kind of feel like he's in the wrong job, just being honest. I just kind of feel like he's doing the wrong thing. Even if he went to school for this thing, I might be just doing the wrong. I don't know that it's making his soul happy. Yeah, he's very frustrated. Oh my goodness. He is getting a lot of cards here that are like all just indicating that he's not happy. It fell out again. I'm not even joking. All right, so let's see. What should he be doing? That's like more of a, what's the key to the... He needs to speak up for himself, maybe even do a career in speaking, communications or some kind of a thing, but he needs to be doing something else. And I feel like he's just very frustrated right now. I mean, that's what I'm getting for him. So I hope that helps. I don't, he needs to talk, he needs to communicate. I don't think he's always great at that, but he needs to talk to somebody who's trusted, like you, maybe, like you. But he has to advocate for himself also. Self-advocating at the workplace. But I don't think he's really doing, I don't know, this job doesn't feel amazing. It feels more like maybe he has to do it, but it's not feeding his soul. So that's something we have to, he has to reconcile. In the United States, we always think our job has to feed our soul. In other countries, jobs are just work. It's just like you work. And that's like, it's not expected to feed your soul. So it doesn't have to be that his job feeds his soul, but I feel like it should feed his soul maybe just a little bit more than it currently is. You said that does help you a lot. Yeah, good. I hope that helps. He's a very nice person. Feels nice. He needs to talk. He needs to get his talk on and advocate for himself. Naomi wants to have a card. Let's see what's going on with Naomi. half full, Naomi. Cup is half full. Guardian angel saying cup is half full, not half empty. You might be looking at it as half empty, but it's really not. It's saying to have optimism, you know, sort of focus on the bright side, you know, embrace what's going right, you know. Sometimes one thing will go wrong and 50 things will be right. And it's like, everything sucks, you know, just because the one thing went wrong. But I feel like, Naomi, more is going right. And we need to focus on that. I can tell you're busy. I mean, the cards are very lively right now, which means that you have a lot going on. And I do feel like there's something that is going to be a new start, a fresh beginning. It might be a little stressful, but I actually feel like you it's interesting. Like we were talking about the North Node of the Moon. This is a beautiful card, by the way. And this is the card Star of Magi, and the 3 Magi found baby Jesus through the navigation of stars. So this is saying keep your eye on the North Star, keep your eye on the prize. In other words, don't get distracted by BS, you know. Look, the retrogrades are here, you know. Stuff is going wonky. Especially as we get into the retrograde next week with Mercury retrograde. But, you know, Venus is retrograde, Saturn's retrograde, Chiron's retrograde, Pluto's retrograde. We got a lot of retrogrades. Uranus is going to be retrograde at the end of the month on the 28th, Monday the 28th. Jupiter's going to go retrograde at the beginning of September. So we got all the retrogrades are starting. You know, so stuff goes wonky. But remember to focus on your blessings. That's what it is. Focus on your blessings. Okay, we got a lot of, all of a sudden we have Jocelyn, you have Ceres energy in a few situations. Can you pull a card for guidance? Okay. Barney's okay, honey. We can't contact him yet. It's a little too soon, but I can tell you he's good. He is good. He's a good bub. Animals are always safe and good. On the other side, animals, so people ask me just as a general, but I'm also specifically answering this, but this is also a thing. They just pop right out of their bodies when they transition. They pop right out. Humans, from what I can sense, and I'm talking as a psychic medium, that humans, it's complicated. You know, we're a little bit more complicated. Animals, I feel, are closer to God already. So they just like kind of boop, they like pop out. And they tend to just sort of get, you know, acclimate pretty much more easily than humans. So I feel like he's okay. I really do. I feel like he might have made his rounds. I call it making his rounds. And so a lot of times when humans and or animals transition, go to the other side, they make their rounds in the first like 24, 48 hours. You might have a dream about them. You might smell them. You might hear their footsteps. You might, whatever it is, hear the collar jingling or something. And you'll have a very significant like contact almost immediately. And then they like kind of disappear. And that's because they go and they acclimate on the other side, and the soul gets used to being on the other side, and it kind of goes through this little acclimation period. But a lot of times they do the making of the rounds, and that usually happens, I see it anywhere usually within 12 to like, you know, 72 hours. It's like 1 to 3 days, you know, where they make the rounds and they sort of say goodbye. The soul kind of checks in like, hey, I remember that when my grandmother passed away, the clock next to her bed stopped, completely stopped. And at the time that she passed, and it never worked again. And so a lot of times there's like a sign or some kind of a thing that happens. It's very significant after your loved one crosses over. And then, like I said, then they have to acclimate for a little bit. But I feel like he's okay. I do. Cause he's just he's like, has that innocence. Like his soul always had that innocence. So. Okay, so I was going to answer Jocelyn. I'm sorry, Jocelyn. So let me get back to Jocelyn. And I know that you wanted to know about your Ceres energy. I hope you're still on the broadcast, Jocelyn. What do you need to do that's most important? And I'm also going to be pulling a different card here because there's something. I hope your physical health is okay, because it's saying somebody, either one of the two people that you are asking about, or even your own physical health, because you're getting healthful eating. And this card is Saint Raphael. And so really it's about eating well, sleeping well, exercising enough, all that. But hopefully, you didn't ask about health specifically, but that card came out. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, Jocelyn. So yeah, so what does Jocelyn need to know that will best guide her through these, how she navigates these? Yeah, there's a thing here where you're not trusting for some reason, but I feel like at least with one of these situations, it feels like it's going to be okay. Like you're maybe having your own fears, doubts, or worries, but I feel like as if it's going to be okay. It's just a little bumpy. I hope, Jocelyn, you hear me. It feels like a little bumpy. There does feel like there's a new thing starting here. You just need to keep the lines of communication open. And yes, for the okay, she said thank you for the health. Yeah, exactly. You need to keep lines of communication open and be a friend more than a parent. This is like just about listening and or expressing and talking. Sometimes with you said something about Ceres, so I'm assuming this is a question about mothering and nurturing. But sometimes that's what we need to do, is just hold space. Holding space, listening, not like, like sometimes it's like, your kids come home and say something like, I just tried drugs for the first time. It's like, and you gotta really, like, okay, all right, and you want to like hold that space, and it's hard because sometimes if you have that big reaction, or something, like the kids won't talk to you again. So you have to like, breathe through that. But I feel like if you keep the lines of communication open, that's really the most important thing here. And also to have faith and trust. Like I feel like there's fears, doubts, and worries. You're getting that card. And it means that you need to keep the lines of communication, but also your faith. Have faith. Because I know sometimes we get nervous, for our kiddos, and it's like, oh, that's a great idea. Not, and it's like you gotta breathe into that a little bit. I feel very much, oh no. Okay, so you've been concerned about somebody and their health issues. Yeah, exactly. I feel a lot of, when I'm talking to you about this, I'm feeling a lot of like in my chest and my solar plexus area, which is like your upper like belly button tummy area, like just tight. So it feels like there's a lot of, I don't know, I felt like an anxiety feeling with that. So I hope that helps. I would say breathe into it, hold space. I know like sometimes we would like to take away someone's pain and stuff, and we can't do that. Especially as empaths. When you're empathic, oh my God, we'll always try to take somebody's pain. That is the thing empaths do, is like, give me all your pain. It's like, no, don't do that. Cancel clear, But that's what we try to do as empaths, because it's almost like if I take it, I can take it and then I can process it. But that's not quite how life works and how energies work, even though we want it to work that way, because there's a lot of times we would love to take someone's pain and just, I can process it and deal with it myself, but it's not how it works. But we can hold space. And I'll tell you what, holding space for somebody nowadays is huge, because nobody really holds space for people anymore. It's like, oh, what's on my cell phone? Oh yeah. Oh, you got a problem? Yeah. Okay. It's like, we're not even focusing on people or asking people how they are anymore. I'm not saying people on this broadcast are saying it, but I'm just saying as society in general. So having somebody just even sitting and listening is a big, huge thing. Or even asking somebody, how are you really? Like, cause we'll always say, how you doing? Oh yeah, fine. It's like, no, but really, how are you? Really, how are you? Hardly anybody does that. Look at each other's eyes, ask questions, it's all that big stuff. That's big. All right, I hope that helps. I'm going to do one card for the week. What do we need to know? What do we need to know in order to, be our highest, truest, best selves? This week with all this, there's a lot of ups and downs, wonky energy, but there is a big new moon and there is the north node of the moon is going to be highlighted. So I think that we could definitely have a silver, golden, whatever lining to this week. We just need to know where to look and how to find it. What do we need to know in order to have the best week possible and to navigate these interesting waters? Commitment. We need some commitment. That's our guardian angel card, commitment. And look, she's a mom with 2 kids. Isn't that interesting? We've been talking about Ceres energy a lot this week. And so we need to stay committed to our plan, our path, and not get derailed, because there's going to be, with this Uranus energy can be a destabilizer, and like weird stuff can come out of left field. And it's like, nope, we got to stay on track. We have to stay committed to our plans. We have to follow the North Star. Where are we going? Where are we heading? What are we doing? And try to stay in our path, stay committed to our diet, our exercise, any kind of thing that we need to do as far as how we're living life, how we're lifing. Okay, that helps us to stay committed to ourselves, our path, our plan, and not to get derailed. I mean, these retrogrades can derail us sometimes because it has us chasing, it's like squirrel, and I gotta fix my printer, now I gotta fix the flat tire, and all this stuff. And so, but it's saying stay committed no matter what, because our energy might be pulled in a bunch of directions. Thank you, Rosalie. Ding, ding, ding. I appreciate you so much. More stars. I love it, love it, love it. Darlene, welcome. You're welcome. So Till, thank you. Thank you so much. And Jocelyn said, thank you so much. You were right on. Awesome, awesome. I love all of you guys. I know it's been a little ups and downs this week, but we will, I think, have some positive little flavors. Amir, Rosalind, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful week. And if you make sure, go over to my YouTube channel. I'm so close to 500 followers. I'm trying to get to 1,000. And it is saying by the end of the year, I could possibly hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do it. I'm so close. I think I'm at 498. So yeah. So I love all of you. If you want to have a personalized astrological session, feel free to reach out. Text message is best, but DM also works. All right, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Namaste. Take care. Bye.